So what we're going to do now is to put the chairs here and have the people, the four presenters, come up here on the stage, please. Now, one problem is that it's 12:59.39, so it's lunchtime almost, but we need some questions, and so therefore the panel will be active. So I've got lots of questions, but I'd prefer, because we are running short of time, maybe we'll have 15 minutes or 20 minutes of questions. I want those questions to come from the audience, please. So if you can think and put your hand up, let me know. Questions from the audience, please.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Right, okay, we'll start here. Carl. Some satellite people say all airlines want connectivity. I've heard that that's not quite true. And only about 110 out of 2,400 airlines are actually drilling holes in their fuselages. What's happening on that front? The number seems quite small.
Not sure what's happening here. Barry, I don't have the absolute numbers, but it is true that not all airlines are choosing in-flight connectivity, and the reasons. I'm getting signs from the top there.
Have we got a microphone that works, please? Yeah, it's working now.
All right. So Barry, you are right. And I'd like to answer it in a slightly different way. If you look at the reason why airlines are choosing in-flight connectivity, they actually all have different reasons. If they all had a common reason, then probably you'd have more of them signing up for it. Some of them do it for strategic reasons. Some of them do it for operational reasons. Some do it for client or passenger strategic reasons, looking at gaining passenger numbers. When you go back into even looking at how they charge for the services, every airline has a different methodology, different thought process. And I think what is going to happen, though, is that more and more airlines are going to sign up for it, because what we are finding with the high throughput satellites and the greater coverage and the better economics that are coming around, that it is becoming more affordable for airlines to get it. And with the type of technologies that we spoke about and some of the other stuff our competitors are doing, the experience of passengers is becoming better. I think if certain people, have flown Turkish Airlines, you may find a varying service based on where you fly. If you fly Turkish Airlines, as an example, into Europe, you'll have a completely different experience to flying Turkish Airlines into the US, and it's because of a particular configuration of that particular provider that they're using. And hopefully, when you start rolling out better services, better performance, and get the naysayers in the airline industry to see the benefits of getting in-flight connectivity, I think the numbers will increase.
Yeah, okay. So are the passengers driving this market, or is it the airline that's driving the market?
Both.
Both, okay.
Because research shows, we have a customer who did a huge amount of passenger research, and through the board, all the passengers wanted it. Yeah. But there was a widely varying opinion whether they should pay for it or not. So that's the conundrum the airlines sit with, because everybody wants it, but nobody wants to pay for it. And not only do they not want to pay for it, they want a great service.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a conundrum. But I think you're going to see a change in the next few years.
Okay, all right. So let's come on to frequency bands. Now, I mean, KU band or KA band, why would one want to go and use KU band when the aircraft, say, is a brand new now and it's got a lifetime of 20 years, so why not go KA band straight away? Because I understand from my research that KA band is going to be taking over in a few years' time. Do you run KA band services?
We don't have KA band at the moment, but we are fast on our way doing KA band. Joe was mentioning Telesat. We actually did a very public test switching between a GEO and a MEO, or actually a LEO and a GEO with Telesat using KA band. So our system is satellite agnostic, so we are not tied to a particular satellite or a particular satellite provider, nor are we linked to a particular satellite frequency. So in our particular case, we don't have a constellation ourselves. We're not fixed to a constellation, so we can pick and choose satellites, frequencies, locations based on the requirements of the airline, based on the throughput required, and the economics. Because the economics are actually really the thing that drives the whole process.
It does, yes. Yeah,
so getting back to it, obviously there are satellite constellations that are, and in-flight connectivity companies that are tied to particular constellations, so they put their money into one basket or another basket. But at the end of the day, KU versus KA to us is actually a non-event. To us, it's more an issue of performance and price.
Right, yeah, okay, all right, I understand that. I'm sorry to keep labouring with you. I'm going to come on to the other guys soon. So, flight path to success. Is that 5G? Or doesn't it matter?
No, it doesn't matter to us.
No, it doesn't matter. No, okay. Because when you look at what's happening with 5G and SES in their market survey there, I mean, 5G is only just about taken off anywhere in this world. I mean, the Chinese, Mr. Jinping, he's the chief scientist over there. He's now introduced it to 50 big cities in China. So, and it's happening in the UK, but slowly, and happening here. So what's happening? So slow, where 4G is going up with a tan delta angle like this, 5G is only just about getting up to about 14% in 5 years or so, was it? Why is this then? What's the problem?
So is this the question to me?
Yeah, it's a question to you.
Yeah, so see, what we have seen, that it is really about the applications. So when we talk of 5G, as one of my friends I think mentioned, that it is networks of networks. You know, it is a network of networks.
Yeah.
And when we think about 5G, we think about IoT, we think about connected car, and artificial intelligence and all those things. So you see, I would say, as these application usage progresses, those would be the drivers to, the basic principles, what would be required to qualify for a 5G, that I think is, a lot of work has been done there. We know that what is required, but I would say that usage will drive it.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on that?
If I may add just a bit of additional comment on that, because I fully agree what you're saying. I mean, the adoption of 5G into satellite when it comes to serving end users, this will take time, reasonably, because first of all, the cities will get connected with 5G. But From an industry perspective, it's the way how services will be delivered into the market. These will be changing because of 5G. So even if the service have nothing to do with 5G consumer connectivity, we will evolve to delivering services as it is defined in the 5G context, because all the telcos and so on, they will start deploying services in this network of networks in a 5G manner, even if it has nothing to do with delivering 5G connectivity to end users. I think that's what we have to be aware of. This is what will hit us very fast as a satellite industry. We need to blend into the mobile networks and the telco world.
All right. You tell us that?
I fully agree with Joe and what was said. I think the reason why the satellite industry, and I guess you have a good, fair representation here in front of you today, is so much interested by 5G is because from a standard point of view, if you look at the 3GPP latest release and the plan that is coming for the next 5G, it has been said or it is planned that in theory, and I'm saying in theory, satellite as a connectivity mean, as a technology, would be fully integrated into 5G. So what does it mean in real life? What does it mean for you when you are connecting your homes, your office, or you're giving a mobile to your children? It remains to be seen. But what is very interesting, again, from our industry standpoint, is that 5G standards from the 3GPP is considering satellite as a part of it. And also Joe was saying in his presentation, I think the key word for today, which is orchestration, which means that, yes, we need to adjust our platforms. In the case of Eutelsat, we need to adjust our satellite. We probably need to work harder and closer to ST engineering and the ground service providers and the local partners, because when we would go to the market, when we would go to the telcos, when we would go to the ISPs, or we would go to the corporations, what they will be, and they are in fact already asking that from us, but what they will be asking for us is integrated, automated service delivery. And I think this is the real challenge for us, because we need to develop our skills into the IT, we need to develop our skills into the software of this world, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Philippe. That was good. So, just a quick answers to this question. Latency. How sensitive are you to latency and particular applications? Your particular applications.
I will start with the mic.
Yeah.
At least from my internet broadband or KA projects and days, I could give you two use cases by which we were, or two customers we were not able to serve. The first one was BNP Paribas, the French bank.
Yep.
That is, I think, also operating in your market.
Well, that's share trading.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in fact, we spoke to the IT department of the trading guys. So the guys that are doing high-frequency trading. And those guys in their office, they are always looking for super low latency.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, under 1 millisecond, they are making much more money than with 2 milliseconds, okay?
Big time.
That was a case by which we were not able to serve the customers. And the second use case that I've seen on those past years was this massive gaming for the kids that are, grown-up kids that are playing day and night with those online games. And of course, the importance of the ping in the game is very important.
Right.
But apart from that, I don't know what is latency.
You don't know. That's okay.
I think this should come to me. Yeah, so why it should come to me? Because I think O3B has been the technology, or I would say the constellation that has really, that has been talking about latency a lot. So I'll give you an example. There is this town in Pakistan, which is a coastal town of Gwadar. It is the starting point for the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, So it has got around 60,000 inhabitants, indigenous, and then there are many Chinese companies there. So we did a trial, and then what happened later I'll also tell you very quickly. So we did a trial of using the same 5 megahertz of carved out frequencies for in 1800 megahertz band for LTE, and we did an FTP test. So we could get the same nearly. So we got 19.8 megabits per second on a mobile phone. That kind of speed, and in a metropolitan for the same set of conditions, we were getting on fiber and a very high reliable fiber around 21 megabits per second. Now, what does that mean? It was very close, so of course. So that means that in the same time duration, mobile network operator has an opportunity to earn 4 times more revenue for the same data rate. Oh. So eventually, what we come down to that the same megabits per second is a unit that mobile operator leases from us or hires from us. Our megabits per second on a low latency satellite is 4 times more valuable than a megabits on a traditional geo satellite, even an STS geo satellite of, I would not go and name one of our collaborators or competitors, what you say.
Yeah.
So that is really something which, and what happened afterwards, the same Gawad port, our the mobile network operator who was doing the trial with us, it's Vion, Wimpelcom previously. It has got 60 million subscribers in Pakistan's entity, so it's not it's a real tier 1. So they started off with 50 megabits, and now that one terminal of 2.4 meter antenna is supporting more than 1 gigabits per second, and in a matter of 8 months. Phenomenal.
Okay.
And all the usage is about the performance of low latency.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks.
Brilliant. That's what we want. More business, more throughput. Right. That's great. Joe, you can't get away with your second slide. Innovation on the ground. Now, I'm a great supporter of flat plate arrays, electronically scanned arrays, and the development thereof, and the production of those things. But, guys, we haven't seen any yet, to my knowledge. So, are you not a little bit optimistic in, making all this? When are we going to see them, as far as you're concerned?
That's a good point, Barry. I'm optimistic about it. In this sense, we see a lot of companies spending a lot of money on this, and there's real evolution happening there. But I think it's still maturing. That's what we all kind of feel, because this has been hyped a bit in the market, let's say, over the last years. But the reality is, of course, that it didn't really mature yet. We're still in the early stage, and some companies already came to market with a solution. Others are still developing it. So I think we have to be a bit patient on that side, because I think it will be a game changer. We see a lot of companies which are getting very close to very good products as well. And then, of course, the next part will be that they have to scale the business and then optimize the price points. But I would say there's promising things happening. And of course, it's driven also by the MEO and the LEO constellations, because for these type of services, it's even more important, not critical, depending on the market. So I think we are, as an industry, we were a bit disappointed over the last years, but I think the next year is going to be a game changer.
Some of these guys have been working on these arrays for, 6 or 8 years. So there's, and the money bucket isn't infinitely deep. So there's going to be casualties And that's going to be a problem. And there's already casualties in the LEO business, like, for example, LeoSat. No funding. So they've closed the doors. And that's sad. I was encouraging them. I mean, we run conferences elsewhere, and I encourage the likes of Phasor and LeoSat and Telesat to come along and tell us what they're doing. But there always seems to be now problems and delays and all that sort of thing. So although you're talking about your P1 trials with Telesat, wasn't that about a year and a half or 2 years ago? And Telesat still hasn't launched any LEO satellites, proper ones.
Yeah, I don't want to make comments on behalf of Telesat, but there's continuous demonstrations ongoing on that one, and of course, yeah, it's big projects to kick off. But but coming back to the antennas where we started, and that's maybe also a key message. There's a place for the traditional Satcom antennas as well. These flat panel, electronically steered, they will not replace everything what we do in a Satcom world, because it's very difficult to replace a metal dish of a 75 or 1 meter or whatever. Where this has a good fit, it has a very good fit. So there's use cases where these type of new technologies will have a fit, and there's use cases where the traditional technology have a fit as well. Right. It's just gonna enable more business to be run, I would say, in the future. Yeah. And as I said, I think there's a lot of companies in this. There will be most probably casualties, but there's also some good innovation happening.
But also, like end user terminal price has to be this low level, this Greg Weiler level.
I think Eutelsat can very well comment on that one, but I think if you go at broadband access, consumer services, I mean, no way you will replace a traditional dish, in my opinion. It's very cost effective.
So tomorrow I shall be talking about parabolic reflector antennas supplanting or displacing flat plate arrays. So, did you want to say something? No? Okay. Question, yes.
Which market is using the most data? The cruises or the airlines, according to your data collection?
The cruise ships.
The cruise ships?
Yeah. It's just economics, because, I mean, on a cruise ship, you can put a parabolic antenna and you can run an 800 megabit link onto it. On an aircraft, it's kind of tough putting a parabolic antenna on.
Yeah.
So
I'm asking this question just to support the dishes, the fast antennas. So I think the other antennas need some time to evolve, and we will see it in the future. But I think the other antennas, the metamaterial that you have shown in your presentation, I think need some time, but they are accountable for this. Thank you.
yeah. No, they're coming. We'll have a flat panel in 2 years.
Yeah.
We'll have a flat panel in 2 years.
2 years. What type?
Phased array.
Phased array.
But no moving
Electronically scanned array, but metamaterial?
No.
No.
But
Phased array. Electronically scanned array.
yeah. No moving parts.
No moving parts, yeah. Okay. I've got one, look, time's running on. I've got one more question. I mean, O3B has done really well with their cruise ship business. Excellent. But one of the problems is that you only go from plus minus 45 degrees latitude, yeah. What about the rest? I mean, does that worry you from a business proposition? Poles, people want to communicate. I know that the business is low, but others are going to compete in that area.
Yeah, so of course, I think you already know what was the limitation of remaining in those, that it's related to the orbit itself. So, and other things. In case of O3B mPOWER, we are going to be covering more, and I would say, but still we will be remaining under certain limitations. You see, going beyond that, I believe there is a play for GeoHTS. Then there is a play for maybe, inclined orbit satellites as well. So, but it is what it is, I would say. Yeah.
But is SES Networks thinking about that sort of that business area?
Yeah, see, we believe that with O3B Empower, we would be removing those major limitations, which is like, because wherever we are talking right now, we're talking of either broadband, but when we talk of cellular backhaul, most of the if we are, let's say, extending S1 interface for a 4G network, we need to have, most of the countries need to have in-country gateway. So I believe during all this time with O3B, we had a very interesting learning curve. We now know how to integrate, what are the challenges of integration with mobile network operators, because we determined very quickly after the launch of O3B that these are the mobile network operators who are our best friends, because they have the infrastructure, they have the other structure in place to distribute bandwidth and to collect the revenue and then serve the populations. So coming back to the point that yes, we see so much of growth in capacity and in our flexibility to reach out to those markets which have not been limited because of the range of the latitude which we were covering, but because, like for example, I'll give you the example of Saudi Arabia. So there we could not do O3B because we didn't have an in-country gateway there.
Yeah.
So similarly, I would say the same is the case with Turkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
So with O3B Empower, we will be able to remove this obstacle of in-country gateway. We will be having multiple gateways in country.
Yeah.
Then we will be removing the obstacle of having an aggregate bandwidth requirement in order to justify an O3B terminal, which is quite expensive as compared to the normal Earth station. So we will be able to support 50 megabits site with a, and we are also foreseeing that the terminal price is going to go really down.
Down.
Yeah.
Decreasing.
So, yeah, decrease.
Yeah. Okay.
In the range where it is really, it drives the growth. Yeah.
Yeah, that attracts more volume of business.
Yeah.
So let me just, I mean, we've got to stop now, but for SES, there are more and more cruise ships being launched, and if you look at the numbers in 5 years' time, I don't know, it's going to double or something. So, and with your number of satellites, aren't you going to reach a MEO saturation so that beams are full when you're trying to launch down onto or cover one particular cruise ship, and there's loads of other cruise ships there, and you can't get to those. What's the competitive situation there then? Yeah,
so this is a very interesting question actually. So when we started O3B, we thought that we have loads of capacity. This is never going to be filled up. But even the last of the 4 satellites that we launched was this year in April.
Yeah.
So now we have 20 satellites in O3B, and we tend to believe, because we are now investing heavily in O3B Empower, we do believe that this is enough, right? So there have been challenges of capacity, but if we're talking of a particular cruise ship and getting more capacity, we've already demonstrated in Pacifics by having overlay of having more than one beam overlaid over the other,
Yeah.
and we have enhanced the capacity.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Please remain there for the moment. Any more quick questions from the audience? Joe, haven't you got a question? No? Okay. So we've got these rather nice caption things to hand out. So, Carl, you're number one. So, okay, I'm shake you by, oh, sorry. There we go.
Thank you.
Ah, okay. Hamid, yes, you've changed your name. We couldn't get it changed. So anyway,
No worries.
thank you very much indeed.
It is still with SES.
Yes, it's with SES.
Thanks.
All right? Next one. Oh. There we go. This is Joe. One for you as well. Take it back to Belgium.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
My pleasure.
And Philippe. You've got one L in your name, right?
Levy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. Back to Paris.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It's 1:30 now. 1:30. What's happening next, please? What? Sorry. 2:15. The session starts again. So it doesn't leave you much time for lunch, really. But okay, that's the... No. 2:45. 2:45. You've got more time for lunch. So 2:45 back here, please.